What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Morning Fishing Report. After a one-day hiatus, I get a message from Tony last night. Hey, you want to go fishing tomorrow? Hell yeah, I do. I didn't look at the weather or nothing. I mean, why would you? We left the dock at 6:30 this morning. Air temp was, what'd you say your truck said?
26.
26. It was blowing 15 to 20 at that time of the morning out of the southwest. We got out there, first or second cast, you had a big pickerel, and then it was game on. In the first drift of the morning wasn't bad. It didn't really start blowing until when we got to the northeast end of our drift. We started same place I've been, same place I left them on Friday. We started right in front of Muskrat Bay, and the wind was drifting out. We wanted to film out there, but it was just not possible. We'd have stood this close, and you still wouldn't have heard us, you know, because that wind's gusting. It's got to be 35 plus miles an hour gust, if not more. You could see it shearing off the tops of the waves. And when we turned and finally said, hey, let's get out of here, we took two over the side of the boat. We finally turned into them, and we were no more than a mile offshore, tops. I mean, we were in 16 foot of water just outside the weed line on the south shore. And when we turned into them, we were in 4 and 5 footers.
Yeah, easily.
I mean, until we got back past the beach, where we were really down in the southwestern corner, it was gnarly. Gnarly. I can tell you that, gnarly. But that being said, Tony had a great morning. He smoked me about 10 or 11 to 1. We ended up with 4 keeper walleyes that we kept. You threw back at least one short. One short. Big smallmouth. A big smallmouth, the pickerel, bunch of perch. I only had one bite all day. It was a walleye, and
it was a keeper.
So everything was on blades. You were throwing. You threw the same blade all day, right?
Same gold blade.
He had a gold XPS blade. I ended up catching mine on a rot jaw. I went through 4 or 5 of my good color I1s, and they didn't get bit. I fished a jig and wrap, swim baits, swim bait on just a head and swim bait on a drop shot, and nothing else was going. So, you know, we made 3 drifts, and by the third one, it was time to go. Everything in the floor of the boat was ice. That wind was just pushing on your back like this, you know, and you're up on your tiptoes the whole time leaning forward. And I said to Tony, I said, watch, when you go to cast, when you go to bring your rod back to cast, you had to go like this and bring it into the wind. There was so much force on it. It's crazy. I mean, really, I guess in all honesty, we shouldn't have been out there, but we were safe, and it was, temperature-wise, we were comfortable. We were built for it.
Yeah.
Fingers took a little while to acclimate this morning. You know, you had to get through the burning stage. But other than that,
it was a great core workout today. It's very
yeah. And to catch up everybody quick, my son Danny and I went deer hunting yesterday. We went way down south of Bath, 264 miles round trip from my house in Central Square. We had as great a day of hunting as you could possibly have without killing a deer. First thing in the morning, I see a beautiful buck. Would have been the nicest one I've ever shot. He just didn't give me a shot, and so I let him walk because he was heading towards my son. My son didn't see him. Danny had his first shot at a deer yesterday morning about 8:30, 8:45. Somebody bumped one behind him, and it came blowing right past his tree. He said, man, I could have reached out and tackled it easier than shooting it. He got one round off at it as it was running away from him downhill, and we looked and looked and looked. He didn't cut hair. I didn't see blood. He saw a doe that morning. We saw 2 bucks and 2 does that morning. We went out, had lunch, drove around a little, first time ever really in Steuben County. We were hunting a piece of state land, and from 9:30 to 11 we drove around as we were eating our lunch and warming up, and we must have saw 25 deer, at least 5 bucks, 4 good ones. So I'll be going back down there. I've heard all the stories all my life, and they're true. There's a lot of deer down there, a lot. We go back in the afternoon. In the morning, Danny had his shotgun. In the afternoon, he had his rifle, bolt action. Loading it, whatever. He didn't have his clip all the way up in or something, or he didn't have his bolt all the way forward and locked. And he had a big buck walk out 35 yards in front of him. And he says, man, he goes, I was lined up. He goes, I had him in the scope. I turned the safety off, and nothing happened. And he goes, I even whistled to him to get him to stop walking. And he goes, and I smiled at myself because I knew I had done it. He goes, and then the gun wouldn't go off, and I panicked, and he ran away. And I said, well, sometimes the hardest lessons are the toughest to learn. And I guarantee you, I said to him, I guarantee you never go into the woods again without double and triple checking the actions on your gun. He doesn't have the experience level to know to quick, back and re-rack something in. He's never been in that position. And but he'll know now. He'll know now. So that was our day. I had a lot of people send me pictures of bucks. They all look amazing. I see Chris. I see Chris got a big one. My buddy Nate got a big one. I love looking at all those pictures. So a lot of great memories. But Danny and I had a great morning. It's the first time he's had a chance at a deer, and he had a chance at 2 bucks yesterday. He just didn't seal the deal. Shit happens, Everybody that's ever walked in the woods knows that those kind of things can happen. So we're good on time. All right. Oh yeah. Yeah. You're right. So southwest wind, west southwest, blowing 25, gusting to 40. Air temp was 20, low 20s, without wind chill when we left the dock this morning at 6:30. And in the river, I had 39.8. Once I got out into the lake, into a little deeper water, it was 40 and change. Friday morning, when last day I fished, it was 43 and change. So these cold days, although next week's supposed to warm back up some, but this temperature's dropping fast. I mean, a week and a half ago, I finished a deck that I was building in a t-shirt, and water temps were still in that 53, 54 degree range. So it's dropped 12 degrees in a week and a half. So, but the walleyes didn't seem to mind this morning. They still bit pretty good, and that first bite of the morning, you said that pickerel almost took the rod out of your hand.
Yeah,
and he was a good one. He was a good one. So, all right, thanks everybody. We're getting out of here. Here's to another day. See you tomorrow morning. Thanksgiving week. Just snow inside my garage.
A little wind.
Oh.
Hard to believe it's windy.
Thanksgiving week. I don't know what I'm fishing or hunting, but we're doing something every day. So I'll see you guys tomorrow morning. And as always, keep your tip up.